Hello and welcome to Tennessee Valley this morning on WTNB. Joe, I didn't know where we were for a minute.
Who are we? Where are
Joe, I'm Joe.
I know you're
you,
Joe.
I think I know you.
I think I do.
Joe and Kim Palo with you.
If not, I've put up with a lot for a very long time.
You? And if not, who is this strange woman in my bed?
I know, but I know who you are. I mean, you leave
Everybody
a lasting...
knows who I am, Kim.
I know. Everybody knows who knows your name.
And there'd be a lot of people that would like to switch places with you, I'm telling you right
Yes, and they absolutely can. I'm taking the highest bidder. I just absolutely.
A lot of women like to be in your shoes
right.
there, sweetheart.
I just insist that they cannot bring you back.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
You are non-returnable, non-refundable.
Right. And there's really no...
Because you've not been trained very well.
No. But have I trained well? See? Although I must tell you that I'm a little put off by these pants today.
Why? Because I didn't iron them well enough?
Well, you ironed them okay, but they've got this shiny stuff now.
I know. I noticed that with the iron, and I just kept ironing it.
I know you did. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it. I could see myself in my pants.
Well,
wait a minute. But anyway,
somebody else, I guess.
That's right. But anyway, so yeah, Joe and Kim Palo. It is middle of the week Wednesday. We do thank you for joining us, and we've got a great show.
We do.
In fact, the show is so good today.
It's so good
that we've devoted the entire show to just two special people.
And it's not you and I.
And well, it's really not. And it puts me off a little bit.
It should be you and me.
It doesn't really matter. We're just not a part of it.
No.
But it shouldn't be that way, but it is. And why? Because
it's a holiday week.
It's a holiday week.
Tomorrow's the big day. You've got a lot of cooking to do there, buddy.
Oh man, tomorrow is. And you know what? I got to thank Kay and Chris Free for obviously being our host for yesterday's show, and I was watching them. And when I was watching them yesterday, I'm thinking, because Kay was talking about Thanksgiving, talking about, and what are the two things that, ask Chris, what's your favorite? And Chris said the dressing. And then she was talking about, the dressing.
Does she have to make him a special one?
No, but wait a minute. But what I found out, and they said it's just as good, this is what they do, apparently. Dressing is his favorite, and then they said, and Cook's make some very good dressing. So I'm guessing that they probably get it from Cook's, which is a good place to buy dressing from.
Right.
But my kind of dressing you couldn't get from Cook's.
Oh, it's nasty.
Because, see, now Kay was from the West Virginia area, and it was a little different than what you get here in Tennessee. I was from the New York area, then transplanted to Florida, which is totally different than what you get here.
And I'm telling you, there's no New Yorkers that own up to this. I've not heard anyone else that does this nasty
Trust
thing
me.
to their
Well, let me
dressing.
put it to you this way.
I mean,
in New
chestnuts,
York,
I can understand.
or the
apples, I can understand.
what you call it, the Yankee way,
is
to put the dressing. It's not dressing. It's stuffing. You stuff it in the turkey. You don't put it outside the turkey in a pan.
Then just, Delta's
it's in
ready
the turkey,
when you
and
are.
then you dig it out of the thing,
Cavity.
the turkey, the cavity. Make sure, though, which my mom a couple of times did this, make sure you take that bag out with the neck and all that other stuff in it first, because if you stuff it all in there, then that bag gets cooked, too. But anyway, so it's stuffing.
Yeah.
Now, on top of it being stuffing, not dressing, it's got liver in it. The turkey liver is boiled, which is why I love it. And then you take it and you break it up and you make it into the dressing and you stuff that in the
I have like
burger.
one of those surgical masks that
And I
I
don't
put
know
over and
why.
I put the gloves on because it's an organ and it's just nasty. And there's no one else in our whole entire family that eats that. And every year, Mr. Priss.
It's more for me. First of all. Secondly, why don't they eat it? Why don't our kids eat it?
Nasty.
Because you never
I have fixed that every year.
Yeah, but you never.
Mr. Priss.
You fixed it, going, oh, I can't now. You're talking little kids running around at the time when they were little, running around hearing mommy go, oh, this stinks. Oh gosh, how can you eat this? Oh, this is like garbage. How can you? Of course, they're not going to eat it. If you go, wow, guys,
all I could have done is just go smell
this
that. What do you think about that?
I mean, I a lot of people don't like eggnog. My kids love it. Why? Because when they were little, to get them to drink some, I said, this is special milk that comes out during the holidays. It's called Santa Claus milk. And from when they were real little, they'd say, oh, Daddy, could I have some more Santa Claus milk? And I can only have a little bit because it's special. So I pour a little bit in there.
You wanted the rest.
Because I wanted a lot more. And I pour a little bit in there, and they'd hold their little cup and they'd sip it. They'd go, They
See,
just
you
say
should have
good.
done that with the dressing. You should have made the dressing.
I thought you could help out with something. I mean, I'm getting them to drink eggnog.
I don't drink eggnog. So there you go.
But anyway, so I know that's another thing.
Oh,
Gosh, Kim, what is wrong with? What
I don't know,
are we doing married for
I don't
34
know,
years?
I don't know. I'd
You
move
don't
out.
deliver dressing. You don't drink eggnog. That's it. It's over
I
with.
tell you, like I tell the kids, I'd run away if I were you. I'd just go.
I know,
I wouldn't put up with that anymore.
You would find me. Because somebody would have to turn on the TV. Because the 4 remotes they've got your number.
See, I know. That's, I mean,
I had
thank
been
you, Joe.
asleep
I want
and
to just
Kim would
say
be up
thank
and
you.
say, Joe, how do you turn? Push the button.
And the mic. The mic is a hard thing
The
for me
mic,
too.
but you
thank
worked
God.
it out
Well,
today.
it was already said. It didn't need.
Because
the
there was
thing.
another lady sitting there, the last show that was done yesterday, that we mic'd her with it that way. So that's
So, but I do want to thank you. I'm very thankful for that you have turned the television and the stereo and all of that stuff on for me. But I'm much better with the DVR than you are.
No, you're not.
I am too.
No, you're not. The one thing Kim can do that, and that, but I think that's a woman thing because men, us men, real men, wear black, number one. But number two, we also are very, have you ever seen the movie? Jay knows exactly what I'm talking about. Chuck Norris, where real men wear black. But
I'm
men
glad you
concentrate on
dress
one
right.
thing. If we're watching a football game, now I'm not saying we may not switch to the other football game. There's 2 of them on, look back and forth. But we're not going to go from watching cooking to, during the commercial, go to, NCIS to, Law and Order to what's on here to this other. We don't do that. It's the game, this game, that game, okay? Kim will watch 5 shows at one time, and you can't do that. You can't get into one. She's changing the channel to something else a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's something where you do with the DVR. It's a little different. It's not that you do it better. It's just that you do something I would never do. I would never do that. A couple things that you do I would never do. I would
Not
never.
lip gloss or
I would never
blush.
shave my legs unless
Me
unless it-
either, except I have to.
Unless- unless I had to
Polite
for some-
society says I have to.
for some reason. Shave under my arms. Why wouldn't I shave my legs? But other than that, no.
But you
There's
shave your back, or I shave. your
that's something that needs to happen. If anybody knows of a good back shaver out there, I'm telling you. It's falling off of my head and landing on my back. I got
The
more
patches.
hair on my back than and I know this is very exciting. Those of you enjoying this
They
morning
can
as
tell
you
we only
drink your
have 2
coffee.
guests today.
As you drink your coffee and eat your donut, you want to hear about my back hair. But if I did have somebody that could do it, I think I would pay the king's ransom to get that done.
There's lots of people, Joe, out there that do that. I mean, they wax it, and I did that one time. That
I'd
was
handle
fun.
Yeah.
That was so.
The waxing, I wouldn't mind either or. I mean, just as long as I can get rid of the hair.
All right, there we go.
So that's that. What else can we talk about that's interesting on this middle of the week Wednesday? Oh, tomorrow. Speaking of back hair, tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful I don't have any.
Right. So what do you have to be thankful for? Tomorrow being
Joe.
Thanksgiving.
I mean, you're
I mean,
sitting
Kim,
here.
I know.
I mean,
I just wanted to hear it, but go ahead. Go ahead.
it's okay. I got to save it for tomorrow. I have to say it in front of the kids, and I can't do it but once.
You're happy. Well, health.
No, I'm thankful for a lot of things. I really
Right.
am. I'm thankful that it's time to go to commercial break.
Not yet. Not yet. For
With
what? What are you
Jay.
thankful for?
Joe, I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for the country that we live in. I'm thankful that we don't riot in the streets when the votes don't go our way.
Boy, that's good,
I'm
Kim.
thankful that we are a civilized society.
Right.
I'm thankful that my mom is healthy and doing well, and even though we lost Dad, that I still have a great family, and Mom's doing so well, and she's still independent, and the kids are doing well. I mean, there's just a lot to be thankful for. I'm really not, of course, I'm always thankful every morning I get up and
Huh?
say a bit of thanks.
Yeah, you do. That is true.
I
You
do, and
The
it's-
Lord knows how thankful you are to have
He
me.
does. He does. He
Yeah.
knows a lot. And so, but no, I'm just thankful that I have so much to be thankful for. That
Are you
I can't
thankful for this
complain.
television
I
set?
cannot complain about a lot.
You thankful for this plant that's fake?
I'm saying that I'm thankful
For
that I
everything.
have much more to be thankful for than not to be
Okay.
thankful for.
And I'm thankful for ditto. Ditto. No.
Story of our life.
I'm thankful. I am thankful for my health now.
Yes, I'm thankful that Joe is half the man he used to be.
I am. I'm thankful for that as well. I'm thankful for my lovely wife and my 2 wonderful kids.
And our 3 chihuahuas.
3 chihuahuas and my snake.
And your snake that doesn't eat the chihuahuas.
That doesn't eat the chihuahuas. And thankful for, as we said, just the wonderful country we live in, and how more wonderful it gets every day. I'm thankful for our guest on the morning show today, because without them, we'd have to do this for a whole hour.
And I'm tired of this already.
Are you?
I've been tired of it for a while.
So are they. I'm going to go to
I know.
commercial. I'm going to go crazy and go to commercial before James even tells me.
Thank you.
But anyway, we are going to come back. We do have, let's tell them who our guests are, because we said 2 wonderful guests. We didn't say who. We've got Jay Baumgartner.
Blood Assurance.
Blood Assurance, which is going
big
to
drive going on
Yes,
Friday.
they have a big drive, and he's driving the bus around.
He drives the bus.
He's got a bus to move.
He's a bus driver. Move that bus.
And then we've got Ron Moore, obviously, that comes with us every Wednesday and talks about some history. It'd be interesting to see what he's going to talk to us about today. And let's plug it real quick.
That's it.
Well, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all we need.
That is all we need.
But don't forget Ron and Debbie Moore on Whoop Radio Saturday mornings, 10 to noon, Old Town Cleveland, where you'll get more history, and they talk about some interesting stuff there. So, all right, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to be back with our guest and more of Tennessee Valley this morning when we return after this. Stay tuned.
Great local sports right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Keep up to date on all your Walker Valley sports news Wednesdays with the Walker Valley Sports Zone. Get a behind-the-scenes look at all the local high school area football with the pregame Thursdays at 10. And it's a Friday night tradition. Football Friday, every Friday night at 11 o'clock. Right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley.
Did he say
this morning.
smile?
He did say smile. Cheese.
Right. We're getting our picture taken and didn't know it.
We
This
are
is our
joined-
Christmas card. You're going to be on our
Yeah,
Christmas
you're part of our
card.
Christmas. You're part of our family.
It is a dysfunctional family. I
Yeah.
like that.
There you go.
It always
And we know
has
it.
been. As you can see, we are now joined by Jay Baumgartner of Blood Assurance, also first things first.
His wife works with them.
Yes, but he also works with her too. We're going to talk a little bit about both areas. But we first of all want to say thank you for being with us, as always.
It's always my pleasure.
Oh, see how nice. You should have heard what he said to me off set. It wasn't like that. But no, let's talk about the blood drives. I know we've got one going on. We've got one coming up toward the end of the year. We need blood.
That is a great segue into the holiday season. If you went in our blood supply and looked into our chiller, I mean, we just stopped in for a cold one. That's what I always say. It looks pretty decent. I mean, you say, well, we got 3 or 4 days of inventory. That's kind of unusual this time of year. But what happens after Thanksgiving and people get busy and they forget? The issue is all these folks with medical issues, they continue to come into the hospital and they're using blood. And it's not just for surgical issues. They have these little transfusions that go on in certain areas of the hospital. It's amazing how many people use blood. 1 out of 10 patients will use blood, but then all these other people are coming in for just low hemoglobins, and they get transfused every 2 months. And by the time you do that, the blood supply stays constant, the usage during the holidays, but the supply goes down. So on the 28th of December, when we had this big community blood drive between Thanksgiving and the 28th of December, the blood supply will kind of look like your local grocery store on a snow day.
On a snow day.
I want eggs, milk, and bread. And how much do you find back there? It's like a ghost town, except for the cinnamon bagels.
Right.
And that's it. And so we really are trying to gear up for those kind of things. So during the holidays, the day after Thanksgiving, if you come by the Blood Assurance store, we're going to have some giveaways. There's this wrapping package that we're giving away that people are going to get from Hobby Lobby, 100 square feet of wrapping paper. Wow. They're going to get all the ribbons and tags that go with it. Right. So we try to do that to make it kind of fun, but then we have to gear up and just stay on a constant push all year round.
Right.
And when the high schools are out, we kind of get panicky a little bit. You see, the high school students just love to come out and donate blood.
And get out of class, right?
This girl.
Hey, that's right. I'll give blood. Just don't make me go to geometry.
Well, you have a math problem, or
yes, absolutely.
Numerical issues.
I don't think that number.
You know, I heard the other conversation about your marital stuff. Now we're into math.
Yeah, now
that's right.
As you can see what I deal with.
I was a math major in college.
Well, see, you know what the X and R's equal. I don't think the alphabet should have anything to do with math.
Okay, so
that's another story for another day.
But you know, the blessing about this blood thing is that Cleveland really does a great job for many other communities that don't do quite as well. And so with our facility up here, the blood mobiles are going around to all the different businesses, and with all the businesses that kind of start slowing down at the end of the year, it gets a little touchy.
Right.
And what I want is when somebody walks in the door, we can truly have a great conversation with Sky Ridge, and they said, we need 2 units of this or 2 units of O negative blood. We go, no problem, it's on its way.
Right.
It's when you say, I can only send you 1, or you're going to have to wait 12 hours because we don't have it, but it's in processing because it does take 24 hours to test a unit of blood when a donor comes in.
Well, I didn't know that. So 24 hours, huh?
It takes about that long to process a donor's blessing of the giving of life.
Let me ask you this question, not to change the subject, but have you ever had someone come in to donate and for whatever reason you just couldn't use their blood?
Very rare.
Okay.
For example, on 9/11, the outpouring was incredible. And we were a ministry center on 9/11 because people were walking in saying, I got to do something. And so on 9/11, we let anybody come in. And on 9/12, we started telling people, can you come back 2 weeks from today? Because we really don't need, we're so covered up. And as we know, so many people were killed.
Yeah.
The blood usage just wasn't there. And if you talk to the New York Blood Center, they had to throw out like 30 or 40,000 units of blood because they had so much on their shelves for the first time ever that it just sat there. And after 42 days, you cannot use it. And so I can truly say it's not often, but we do from time to time have to throw some blood out. But it's very rare.
Now, okay, with that being said, the average person, when they come in and they need blood, what's the average amount of pints that they would use, just ballpark?
Maybe about 2 units.
Okay.
And so it takes, by the time we make product, for example, your donation makes 3 different products.
Okay.
And you spin it down in these big centrifuges, and the product separates, and you have the red cell, which is what most people need. It's that oxygen carrying part. Then you have plasma, depending on what your procedure is. If it's a burn or just a real trauma case, that's the nutrients in the blood. And then you have the platelet. The platelet is 1/10, it makes 1/10 of a platelet. And so you have to get 10 donations and pool those platelets together when somebody needs to clot the blood. There are specific types of platelet donations where one person can actually make two plus donations for every time they donate.
Okay.
And I do that.
Okay.
So you've got those things going on, and it does get a little hairy. But for the most part, it's going to take about 2 units or 2 donors to come in and give their red cells for the average person. They usually just don't hang 1 donation of blood. It's usually going to be 2 units of red cells.
Right. Right.
And that's a real generalization.
I would love to be able to see the process of how that works, how it separates. Maybe sometime we could.
Why don't we figure out how to do that?
Okay. I'd love to see
and
that.
we could actually.
Can we bring a camera and see a little bit of it and show it? I mean.
Now, when you say camera, are you talking about a digital or? Yes, you can bring a camera.
It's top secret, Kim. We can't tell them where we're doing it at.
I don't know. You don't with the HIPAA laws and all of that, but I guess just blood
in the
is
laboratory,
blood. So,
yes.
But to be able to see how that's done.
In the
because-
laboratory,
In the
it's not to have
we're
your-
gonna find some blood.
When you see Boris Karloff come around the corner, you know you're in trouble. But yes, it is a. We actually have some PSAs and some things that we can talk about and give you some information. It's really pretty cool to see that stuff separate and to see the way it has to be filtered to get the white cells out, because you think about it, white cells fight infection, and so sometimes they're thinking that infection, little white cells may cause something in the blood. So we have a filter that catches all the white cells.
Wow.
And so you truly are receiving a red cell only.
Okay.
And
I wondered about that, if somebody had some type of an infection, what they did with the white cells, because that's how I know when Matthew, we knew, because when those are elevated so high, something's wrong, and so they pull those out.
They do. It's amazing. There's a filter, and it just catches all the white cells.
And I think what else is interesting, what a lot of people may or may not know, but blood is blue. When oxygen hits it, it turns red, right?
You are correct.
So that's why
Except for those Vault fans, they're orange.
Yeah,
well, they don't know what they are right now.
Right.
That's right now.
They're Derek Dooley-less right now. Now, okay, so when you give blood and it's in those little packs, it comes right out of your veins, right into the syringe, right through into the pack. It's red in the pack. So
It's dark red. It looks pretty purple.
Burgundy.
Okay.
Right.
So when does air hit blood and makes the blood go bad? Like, in other words, those little packages, if air got in there a little bit, it no good anymore, or what?
No, the transfusion process is pretty complete. It's totally contained.
Okay.
It's self-contained.
Sealed.
Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. That's what they
There's
say.
a song in there somewhere.
Stevie
We've been
Wonder.
through that all day. I know.
Stevie Wonder
We've
thing.
been through Billy Joel and who else?
Paul Simon.
I
Now
know.
we got
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
Me
Chuck
too.
Norris we've thrown out there.
So, bottom line is, I tell you, this time of year, it just gets to the point of where we're going to do something with Life Care at their facility there on Keith Street in our facility, and we're asking 10 organizations and 10 churches to come together at 10 apiece and have 200 donations, plus whatever the community feels so led to come out and do.
Okay.
So we're going to have a target group, but then we're going to open it up for the community. And if we got 200 plus donations in one day, on the 28th, it would really make the laboratory sing, because we would not be arguing with the hospital blood bank to say, I want 4 of these, and we said we can only send you 2. But we have some in processing. So it's a very balanced, and that's why we are considered a local, regional blood bank. We have these relationships with all these hospitals that we can have great conversations with to say, it is time to do this. You need to help us. This hospital has a need. You got 6 units laying on your shelf. and you haven't used it in 3 weeks, we know what you have. We need 4 of them to go to, say,
Oh,
the
okay.
Baroness Hospital because you have a person from your community that hospital is taking care of. So we can manage the blood supply to take care of all the needs. That's the blessing of a regional blood center.
Now, I think another good point is that you can donate blood and then you can earmark it for yourself if you're having surgery or someone in your family.
You can. It's under doctor's orders, so you have
Okay.
to have like a script, and you have to follow the pecking order. And it takes about 48 hours or 72 hours to turn all that around. So it's not a quick process, but the blood supply is so clean.
Right, and that was really
I
big
just
in the
promise you, my
beginning of
wife had to
AIDS,
receive
but-
2 units of blood when she was having some problems, obviously. And I said, well, at least I know it's been tested. I know the white cells are out, and they're testing for parasites now. They're coming out of Central America. All these kind of things as compared to 1972 when we first started, and all they tested for was syphilis.
Right.
No hepatitis, no anything like that, no HIV. So you just go, the blood supply is clean. But if you want to donate for yourself, with the doctor's order, you bring in the orders. We have to go through the whole process and make sure that's done in 3 days or so. It'll be ready for you to use, and they'll send it to the hospital.
But but if you were to donate it for like future use, you really can't do that because
No.
it's got a shelf life.
Yeah, exactly.
42 days. And a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people, and you wonder yourself, I mean, people that are on, antidepressants or any type of medications, people always think, but that's not true. They clean it up so much. We have our youngest son is a type 1 diabetic, and he doesn't have really any limitations. He just needs to know that before he gives blood, dude, you need, your blood sugar needs to have been good for a little while. You need to know that blood, the orange juice is going to be there afterwards that you might. But there's really not a whole lot of restrictions on people who can give blood, except for the autoimmune type diseases that
And
affect
blood
that,
thinners.
right? And blood thinners that are on the different medications for that.
There are a lot of medications, and you can either call blood assurance, or when you come in, I mean, you can actually, we ask people to bring their drug list, and people say, well, I'm on this and I'm a diabetic, I can't give, I've got high blood pressure. And I said, no, you'll be able to give. And then their eyes kind of glaze, well, it used to. And I said, the FDA governs us, and so that's where we get all of our information to do those kind of things.
Right. Now let me ask you this question, and I'm not being facetious here, trying to be funny. I'm being serious. But because I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of all these, to me, are interesting questions. May not be to you, but they are to me. For lack of a better phrase, somebody that may have a problem drinking, okay, alcohol's in their blood all the time, but they want to donate blood.
That's pure. That's pure.
Right.
That's pure gold.
That can start a fire. But is there anything with that? Because
Are you saying if I was a recipient of that blood and woke up with a hangover?
Would you wake up with a hangover? Is what I'm really trying to get. No, but I mean, because I know my son being diabetic, there's no limitations. He can give blood, even though his blood is wacky. But someone that may have like I said, a drinking problem or another type of a problem. Maybe they do take medications for whatever illness they have, and they take a lot of it all the time. Does that affect the blood that they donate?
It does not.
Okay.
I mean, we actually used to have a specific test for alcohol, and it would trip it, but it was just not significant enough, and the FDA has changed on what you test, and so alcohol is not one of them. And certain medications, all those medications and the combination thereof, there's enough research out there that they know what you can and cannot do. And it is amazing when somebody comes in with 6 or 8 different kind of medications, they said, no, you're okay.
I know.
Wow.
And so I don't understand how all that works together. I know that surprises you.
Yeah, well, when that gets all in your blood and it all mixes around.
And you figure that.
But it's diluted as well. You have
Right.
to realize, you have 12 units of blood. It's almost a gallon and a half of blood in your body. And so by the time you add 250 cc's or 350 cc's, which is, not quite a pint.
Right.
You go, okay, it's just not that big of an issue. You're so much better off for receiving it than not.
Well, and see, I was going to ask you that too. For somebody that gets
you could be the blood Nazi, right?
That gets a transfusion. I was going to ask somebody.
I think she needs some help.
Oh, it does, and more than just blood. But so that kind of goes with the idea that, you know, people, of course, you can give all the time, and there's no reason not to give because, as they say, you give the gift of life. But that answered my question, because I was going to ask, what's the amount of blood someone would need to go get a total transfusion? So you say it's about 1.5 gallons.
Yeah, different size. Now, if you're one of these 17-year-old girls that weighs 111 pounds and thinks she's going to donate, I weigh that in my left leg, you know.
Right.
So I have a little more volume in my system than she does. But in general, probably anywhere from 8 to 8 pints, you know, something
Per
like
person.
that. Yeah.
Now,
8 to 12.
what's the age limit of when you can start donating blood?
Well, you can be 16 years of age with a parental consent.
Okay.
And then when you're 17 and older, you're on your own.
Okay.
But even when we go to schools, though, we still like to let the parents know what their kids are doing. Now, if they walk into our facility, they're kind of on their own. But if you're donating and you're on school time, I do not want these kids coming in who are 106 pounds, they are 111 pounds, and they haven't had anything to eat in a day, and then they want to donate. There's a possibility that they're not going to have a really good donation experience.
Right.
So we want them to have great protein and have a good breakfast, that kind of thing, enough fluid in their system where they're drinking plenty of water. And that just makes the process so much easier.
Is there a better time to donate than another? I mean, throughout the course of a day, like when you first get up, before you know, I mean, what just doesn't really matter?
I don't think it matters.
Just to have,
as long as you give me your juice.
Just do
That's all.
That's
Red
right.
juice.
And if you do it Friday, if you do it day after tomorrow, you're going to get your wrapping paper with a ribbon.
We need you.
And the little tags from Hobby Lobby. We're not talking the tacky stuff. You're going to get the good stuff.
That's very true.
I know. We know.
So
we
we do. We know the owners of
We know
Hobby
the
Lobby,
owners
so
of
that's a
Hobby Lobby,
wonderful
so we're
thing
gonna
that they're
talk
Aren't
doing.
they cool people?
Oh,
Very cool
absolutely.
people.
Barbara and David Green.
They do so much for so many people.
Yes, they
do.
do.
And my wife, Julie, by the way, works with Hobby Lobby.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
does
Things
she?
first.
Okay.
Well, see?
Okay.
And first things first.
Yeah,
Tell
let's
us a
talk
little
about
bit
that, 'cause we've got about
What's
3
going
minutes.
on
Let's-
what's going on there?
Well, I tell you, First Things First is dedicated to strengthening families, and there's been like a 30% decrease in the divorce rate, 35% decrease in the divorce filings in Hamilton County.
Wow.
And they're actually now doing a fathering class inside the Hamilton County Jail, which I helped participate in, but they're doing it here in Bradley County.
Beautiful.
And if you can imagine, 9 out of 10 inmates have no father figure in their life. And so to come in and allow them to stand in the gap and share and teach, and the issues with most of these men in prison are fathers. Some of them are not very good fathers. They do not know how to do this. And you have a line about you can't be a man unless you've seen the man.
Right. You can't be a man till you've seen a man.
And I promise you, I think that is one of the better lines I've heard. I've heard always stupid is expensive, you know, in my life.
He's heard it too.
But,
Just don't
but it's really neat that First Things First can teach other communities, and probably 1,800 communities now have kind of copied them on what to do to make sure relationships increase, fathering, out of wedlock issues, and how to have healthy marriages. We do so much out of ignorance, but there's so many tools out there. And when you say I just don't know, it doesn't go very far. Just like in the television, but just doesn't knowing, being ignorant of your trade is not acceptable anymore. And that's the way it is with our families. You got to fight for it.
Absolutely. And you know, it's kind of like what we talked about before we went on, but it's people, you know, I'm not saying I had a serious problem with it, but maybe just like yourself, when we got married, we were young, and we had our first son. When we had our first son, as he got older, and I told him, I said, Corey, I said, I'm going to be honest with you. Having a son young, it's hard to do because I wasn't through being a son yet, and now I had to be a dad. And I really didn't know the things to do that you should do or not do because I was so young. But I did have a dad, a wonderful dad, still do, thank God. And you know, but you don't do what your dad did. You kind of do what you are, who you are. And it was difficult at first. You know, now the second one's a little easier, but that first one is tough.
We have a thing. We have a thing called boot camp for new dads. And so, I mean, literally, right before Mama's going to have that baby, we'll get these new dads to be in a room with dads only, and the only girl that might be allowed is under 2 feet tall. So we will bring the kids in there, maybe some of the guys that have graduated, and they'll go over these things and just talk about what does it mean to protect Mama when she's trying to recoup from after having a child, and you do these things, and what are the first steps? What's it going to look like 6 months from now, in a year, and are you ready to make these changes? And there's all sorts of educational processes that don't condemn dads for not knowing,
Right.
and they don't condemn mamas for telling dads that we don't know.
Right.
Right.
See, and if you keep telling me I don't know, I'm just going to shut down.
Right.
Right.
I'm just going to quit.
And it's
You
not
do it.
like
Like we know.
Yeah, but it's not
You
like
do it.
it's not like the mother knows how to be a dad.
Right, but-
It's like the commercial. The
But
guy.
I know that you don't hold them by one leg when you're going through
Right.
the door.
Well, it's like the commercial with the guy. His wife tells him we're going to have a baby, and he looks at his sports car and and he grabs a hold of it and he makes it into a family car because things are going to change. Your life is going to change, and you need to know that.
But that really is a good program. First things first. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Absolutely.
Go to the website and see all the stuff, and eventually they're going to have e-learning that you can plug in about. So if you've got missionary people all over the world, you can say, go in and see this segment by Dr. Gary Smalley or somebody like that.
Well, tell them what's the website and where they can
It's
how they can find out more information.
www.firstthings.org, and now that's 2 T's with the first thing.
Okay.
.org.
Okay. And then they can find out all the information.
It's
on
crazy.
That. And the blood assurance number if they want to donate, and where you're located.
Yeah, we're located here on Keith Street, and I think everybody knows the sign out front. And we will be open from 8 to 6 the day after Thanksgiving.
Friday. That's right. That's the day to get your wrapping paper. But if not, don't worry about the wrapping paper. Just go give blood before
the
you
gift
start
of
the big
life.
day. Or during
Blood.
the big day. Go take your little rest, get your orange juice and cookies
And not to
whatever,
mention,
but
you'll feel great afterwards. When you do that, it gives you a good feeling inside
It
thinking
is.
you have helped somebody
And it's
else.
the
You will.
season. It's time to be thankful and to give thanks, and to be thankful that we're fortunate that we can give instead of receive
Right.
blood
Amen.
this holiday season. So make
Absolutely.
sure that you go out there on Friday and every day after that
And don't
you
forget
can.
the
or
28th.
direct people. That's right. And then at the end of December they'll have
Yeah.
another, but we'll have you back before then to promote that.
Yeah, whether you know it or not, you're coming back.
That's right. You're coming back to sit here and show Joe how to separate blood.
That's right.
And what it looks like.
That will be a cool thing to show.
That will be.
I really would like
It
to see
really
that.
will.
That's interesting.
So
to
when
me.
you're all ready, we'll do it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Jay, thank you so much for being with us, buddy.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
We
much.
appreciate you always.
You all are a blessing. You know that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, folks, we're going to be back. We've got Ron Moore in the house when we return after these messages. Stay tuned.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Hello, I'm Bill Odom.
Hi, and I'm Tammy Odom.
We want to invite you to join us on Joyous Living Today for interviews, testimonies, and gospel music by special guests and Dixie Sunshine.
Right here on WTNB, Sundays at 4 p.m. and Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it.
Jesus, Jesus, the light of the world.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100. Welcome
He said
back.
Quiet, Kim.
No, he's saying smile.
Oh, I thought he said quiet, Kim.
No. James is trying to keep everybody happy, and Kim's just got on.
I'm
Just
not
smile,
either.
smile.
I thought he was telling me
the
to
day
be
before
quiet.
Thanksgiving.
I know.
That's right.
Tomorrow
Come
is.
on.
I know. And you know, last year at Thanksgiving, Joe had just lost the weight, and he was like driving me nuts the whole time about he didn't know if he was going to eat mashed potatoes. I wanted to kill him, Ron.
So you're not
he
going
was
to eat
such a
Thanksgiving?
buzzkill.
Did he have liver in his dressing
Yes,
inside the
and
turkey?
it's
Oh.
nasty.
I
I've
would
already
eat
talked
that.
about that today, and it's nasty.
It
but,
is?
Oh,
Not
that is just the
nasty.
nastiest
It's
stuff in
very
the whole
good
world.
for
But
you.
I mean, what a buzzkill on Thanksgiving, and he's like, and then he said, "Well, I'm not going to overdo it this year," and I'm ready to just. I mean,
Now,
I'm
see,
gonna
this is the
punch
thing.
you.
I got in trouble.
I'm going to overdo it.
Yeah, well, I
Me
got
too.
because
I'm gonna
she said, "Are you going
overdo
to
it."
eat Thanksgiving dinner?" Just a hater. And I said,
No,
"I
he's
don't
the
know.
hater.
I'll
gonna get-
see."
I'm
You
going to
mean?
practice today, so I'm good at it tomorrow.
Yeah, see.
I'm going to be miserable by
Yes.
the end of tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm gonna be hurting.
I'm taking a nap right after
I am
lunch.
too. I'm gonna eat, and then I'm
I
gonna
have
take a
no-
nap. I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna eat again. And I'm gonna go
Well,
back to sleep.
you keep your attitude up, you're going to be miserable by the end of today. Forget tomorrow. We are joined, right, been there, done that, the shirt, the whole thing.
That's right.
We are joined by Ron Moore, our buddy, who is going to talk to us
And I'm
about
eating
some.
with Ron tomorrow.
Well, see, I'm going to eat something tomorrow. I'm just
Good.
not going
Here,
to
I'll
eat
give
like
you a green
much as
bean
you
and
eat.
Send him on his way.
I have some turkey, a little bit of my liver dressing, and, but anyway, so what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about Thanksgiving.
Good.
And liver dressing.
We're going to talk about the history of Thanksgiving, not necessarily Bradley County, but Thanksgiving
Okay,
and
okay,
turkeys
that's
and
interesting.
cranberries and different things. That
Very
nature.
good.
Do you know that Benjamin Franklin wanted the turkey to be the national bird?
I did know that.
He actually thought the turkey was more stately. He said a little goofy at times, but it was more representative of the American way, and that the turkey would be good. He did not like the eagle.
Oh.
He said the eagle is a scavenger, and it would take from other birds, and so he'd let the other birds go out and do the work, and then after they got it to the nest, the eagle would come in there and steal it and everything. So it wasn't a very
So
good.
then our
representative.
forefather says, "Eagle it is."
Yeah, well, Thomas Jefferson and him had a big fight over that. They really
Did
argued
they
over this
really?
one. And to this day, Benjamin Franklin called the mailbird the Tom after Thomas Jefferson. So that's
Oh, is that really where that came from?
I thought it
I
came
don't
from
know, but
Tom
it sounds
Rowland.
good, don't it?
That's great.
I thought it was Tom Rowland.
Yeah, Tom Rowland, yeah.
Oh,
what did I know?
see? I
The
love it when you
Macy's
come-
Day Parade started in 1920, but it wasn't the first parade.
No.
Okay,
Gimbels.
that's
had-
right.
They had a
'Cause they were the big
Thanksgiving parade.
rivals, Macy's and Gimbels.
And I found this interesting. The Californians are the biggest consumers of turkeys in the United States.
That's because they eat that lean meat all year round.
And because there's a lot of turkeys in California. The bird. I was talking about the bird, so there's a few other turkeys. Franklin Roosevelt once changed Thanksgiving a couple of weeks earlier so it would kick off the Christmas season earlier. He was trying to get the economy moving, remember, but that didn't work either. So, but what Congress did in 1941, they passed that the fourth Thursday of every month would now be Thanksgiving, so it's official.
Well,
Now,
and what I was going to say, and to get the economy moving now, I think Obama's going to change Thanksgiving to May.
yes.
So we can say we have the
We
whole.
may want to go to April,
February.
maybe April.
Right after Valentine's
If
Day.
it would work, I'd vote for it.
I would too. I would too.
And Thursday, you know why we celebrate Thursdays as that? The Puritans, when they came here, they honored the second day of prayer during the week for them was Thursdays. It was their midweek prayer. So now we do Sundays and Wednesdays. The
Right.
Puritans just done Sundays and Thursdays.
Okay.
So that's why we take Thursday as the second holy day of the week there and that. Pilgrims coming here to the United States before they started that, you know what they brought with them a lot of? Beer.
Beer.
Homemade beer.
Homemade beer in big barrels.
Budweiser back then.
You know why they did that though?
Why?
Not to get drunk.
No.
Just the water.
That was just an added bonus.
Yeah, the water was not very good, and we were at sea, and you were worried about tainted water, so you'd drink water that's already tainted.
That's right.
And it would be clean and have the alcohol in it. It'd keep you from getting scurvy and other illnesses.
Right, dysentery. You didn't want no dysentery.
So beer was a health drink back then.
It all is.
Yeah, it still is today in case anybody wants to have some for
Very
Thanksgiving,
healthy.
you know.
That's right. Wine, beer, liquor. You get liquored up.
Now, every year, the President of the United States pardons a turkey.
Yes.
And he sends it to a ranch where pardoned turkeys go to die.
I wonder if that's true. I wonder if they really keep
I
those
don't know.
alive until
But you know what was the first president? This is not a rule. This is sort of just a tradition. But President Harry Truman was the first one to pardon a turkey. So thought that was just a little interesting.
That is very interesting.
Now this is something, I don't know how they do this, but I thought this was one of the most interesting things I read. That a cranberry must bounce 4 inches to make sure that it is ripe.
Wow, I didn't know that.
If it doesn't bounce 4 inches, it is not ripe or too ripe. It'd be overripe, so you wouldn't want to sell that. Now, I have a picture of some guy sitting there going, one red cranberry, two. And I don't know.
And then somebody measuring, wait, I'll do it again.
Now, and what I didn't find is from what height must you drop a cranberry? Do you drop it from 12 inches to get it to go 4 inches? Or do you drop it from 3 and does it bounce like a super ball a little higher?
Right.
So, but I did not find it.
And then who's going to eat the cranberries that you're dropping all over the ground and bouncing on the ground?
You know, I don't know if there's like a clean place, but who knows if they're bouncing, you know? And you know, if you dropped out a basket at a time, you go.
That's right.
So,
I mean, I guess you
I
could
thought
just
that was
hold the
interesting,
basket at 4 inches high.
This is more. This is more than you'll ever want to know about Thanksgiving.
I'm going to go get my
But
bag
that's
of
interesting.
cranberries and say, Joe, go
And if you
outside.
drop a cranberry and a bowling ball off the Empire State Building, they'll fall at the same rate.
Well, the gravity is the same for either one, right?
Exactly.
As long as they're the same density, right? Okay. I
Bowling
understand.
ball won't bounce up.
No, it won't bounce. It'll make a hole in the pavement. You know what the first meal eaten on the moon when we sent people to the moon? You know what the first meal was?
Turkey and dressing?
It was turkey and dressing. It was a roasted turkey dinner with all the trimmings. Now, I'm just willing to bet they had tang to drink.
Yeah, I am too. I'm going to say that they did that, and I'm going to say that was all mushed up. But you know, turkey and dressing is one of those things that you can imagine would be okay if it was all blended up. That would still have that good taste.
All right. Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Every year they have the large balloons. They started the balloon. What was the first one?
The first one was a turkey?
Nope.
Nope.
Wasn't a Disney character.
Snoopy?
Nope. Felix the cat.
Felix the cat. The wonderful, wonderful cat.
Wow. Huh.
Now this is some information. If you're a turkey farmer, you need to know this. This is fantastic. Turkeys drown if they look up in the rain.
That's not true.
That is true. They get looking up and they just can't, and the water runs down into there, and they're just not smart enough to look down.
They go into a stupor, and then it's history.
You know, it's amazing. You know.
That is.
I mean, so
if they wouldn't open their mouth when they look up, but actually turkeys drown if they look up in the rain.
So that's why you need turkey farmers.
Well, wait,
to go around
and I even got another turkey fact, and I have to give this credit to Doc Carbaugh, who's a host. She was on last week, and it was today. It was Monday. She was on Monday. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, was it Monday? It was Monday.
No, Alan was Monday.
Alan, it was last Monday. All right, I get it straight. I get what she's got straight.
Now you're talking about the turkey.
But yeah, okay, she said that turkeys. This was a fact. They die of heart attacks, and how they found out was when our government was flying the planes to break the sound barrier. They noticed that where the planes broke the sound barrier, there would be like hundreds and hundreds of dead turkeys laying all around. And what happened was the turkeys, the sound would just scare them to death, and they'd have a heart attack and die. So they found all these dead turkeys, and they found out that turkeys die of heart attacks.
Well, part of it could be due to the genetics that we have tried to increase the breast size of
Right, we
turkeys.
put those hormones
We
in
have
them.
made their breasts so much higher, and they have trouble standing up and falling over now.
See, it's the same problem with the
That is the
girls.
truth.
It's the same problem with the
Yes.
girls that live with
So
Hugh
that's probably
Hefner.
giving them a heart attack because they don't have the blood
The
circulation.
same
in
girls
them.
that live with Hugh Hefner have that same problem,
Yes.
Ron. They fall right over.
And I'm not
All
getting
your
on that.
trips to the mansion. I know.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got my own mansion I'm working on.
If you watched the Pilgrims on a cartoon and the Thanksgiving, what's something that they always have?
A big belt buckle.
They have that little belt buckle, and it's on their shoes, and it's up
on
on their
their
hat.
hat.
That little funny hat. Pilgrims did not wear that.
Well,
Historian says don't know any idea where they come up with
Wow.
the Pilgrims with the belt buckle and the big and the shoe buckle and all
Really?
that because they did not wear that.
huh, whoever, and I'll bet you the person that drew that the first time, they didn't think that they should have patented that.
I think the cartoons have become the reality there.
Yeah.
And so,
And they also had guns that had the big barrel
yeah,
in
the barrel,
at the end.
the
They didn't
buster
have-
guns,
Yeah.
they would be called and everything. Now, the Puritans would have worn the black, but all the other Europeans coming here would have been very colorful. They would have
Right.
wore more than just the black uniform. So
Right.
those black uniforms would have only been the Puritans. At the first Thanksgiving dinner, you know how many people were there? Only about 50. The rest of them were Indians.
Okay.
And I can't say the name of that Indian tribe, but it's the Wanapogs or Wonapogs. Or,
Right. They're the ones that gave us the corn.
yes, they did. Yeah.
One of Pogs.
Abraham Lincoln made Thanksgiving a national holiday during the Civil War. And he made a big thing. October 3rd, 1863, he named it the Thanksgiving as that, trying to say that we needed peace.
And they didn't shoot on that day,
family.
did
Yeah.
they? They didn't fight
Yeah,
that
they
day.
shot that day.
They
Yeah,
did.
Yeah, they didn't
They
care.
never stopped shooting
Yeah.
until.
Yeah, that's
There was no instant phone message or anything like that, so no one
Didn't get around
Nobody
to
didn't get
around
the-
there- around there.
Didn't get the memo on
Didn't
that.
get
Right.
that.
Before that, you know how each state decided when Thanksgiving would be held? The governor of each state had his own date that he would do that. So,
Okay.
and you know, it's where the states and the governments want to do their own things.
Right.
They're doing that now, aren't they?
Yes.
The
They're
trying
states and
to.
government do that now. So, but
But the federal government finally stepped in and said we're going to do it.
we're going to do it on
this
Thursday.
Well, you know,
Always.
Canada's celebrates in the 1st of October is their Thanksgiving.
Well, that's because it's not the same as Thanksgiving.
I know, but they're thankful for something. Maybe they're thankful because we're underneath them and we've got all the guns.
What other country celebrates Thanksgiving?
Canada.
You're right.
Joe gave me I was listening to it.
Right. See, finally, for once.
But no, we know that because of Jennifer.
Yes.
Now,
Jennifer
here's
was
the
here.
thing that you will, that a lot of people will not know. Do all turkeys gobble?
Tony and Ginger's do
Yeah, they gobble.
from the automotive place.
Yeah.
But other than that,
But no, the answer is no. All turkeys do
Wow.
not gobble. Only the male turkey gobbles.
Oh, really? Is that his call?
Yes, that's his call. And then the females have a cluck or they almost a peggy. I started to bring my turkey call in and demonstrate what the female turkey would do, but I said, I didn't know if you could handle that.
I don't know, Ron.
well, you know the
Didn't give me
female
too
turkey
much.
does. Why is this mess here? Why do we have all this mess? When are you going to take the kids out? That's how she
garbage
talks.
out.
The garbage and the
Put the
kids.
seat down
Right.
Now I thought this was interesting.
or up.
Down.
Pumpkins are believed to be a common cure for something.
Oh,
Freckles.
oh no
Wow.
kidding.
Yes, I'm not kidding,
Now, see,
but
I like
Now, how?
freckles.
What? Eating it or smearing it on you?
I never
You
read
didn't
that
find
part.
out where
Didn't get that far.
So what I would do tomorrow, if you have freckles, is I would rub some on your face
And eat it.
then I'd eat some.
And see what happens.
Yes. Now I tell you, so a friend of mine says you take a pumpkin, you carve it out and get the insides of it out, the seeds out, and you cook your rice inside there, inside the oven, put in there and season it if you want to, and it comes out in a very
Wow, I
flavorful
didn't
I
know
bet that
that.
would be good.
So it would
And
be.
you can dry the seeds and roast
Yeah,
those
roast-
and
that's a
pumpkin
good-
seeds.
That makes a
Called
very good.
pepitos
There's a
and-
good. I think in the Cleveland Daily Banner on Sunday there was a good recipe for a pumpkin muffin that included using the seeds.
I think
that
those are
dry
good.
seeds. So, and last
love
but not
pumpkin
least
pie.
is, what are unhappy cranberries called?
cryberries.
No, they're blueberries.
Blueberries. But that was good. Cryberries was good.
Cryberries.
There's not a cryberry.
So
but there's a blueberry.
that's you know, in their Thanksgiving
But
traditions
blueberries are purple.
are different for everybody. You know, some people like ham, some like turkey, some like liver dressing,
Yes.
and some people do
Yes.
not. Like most people in the South do not.
Like liver dressing.
As you know.
Now we went through a phase at my house, being from, as we said, New York, and the Italian thing, that we, on Thanksgiving and Christmas, Kim remembers, we would have lasagna. That's what we had.
But we had the brioches.
Well, I thought you were going to cook the lasagna inside the turkey.
Which I would have not minded that. I would have tried it.
But I enjoyed that as being from the South and always having, you know, the regular, and to go to his family's house and to have the meatballs and the brioches and the Italian sausage. And it's not sauce, it's gravy.
If you call it gravy, you don't call it
it's gravy if you're a true Italian up north family. It's not, you know, tomato sauce or your marinara. It is the gravy. And a lot of times the Sunday gravy. But I really enjoyed having the, and sometimes they would make the little bitty meatballs and put
it'd
it
take
in
hours. As a little kid, I remember helping roll those up.
It was, and the ragout, no cottage cheese in that lasagna.
Yep,
No,
that
sir.
You
It was
could,
ragout.
You could go down to Palo's or Cook's, and they got those bags of little meatballs already done now. They're very good. You can buy the Italian ones, pour them in there, in a few minutes they're ready to go.
I know.
So your mother probably would not have.
No, and see, that was the thing. We had, in fact, back in the day, we did roll the little ones up to put in the lasagna. Then that got really, really like painstaking. Yeah.
Right.
So it was like, we'll just put pieces of meat in there and sauce.
Now, did you eat sweet potato casserole up there?
No.
He still does it.
Oh,
No,
my
those
goodness.
are, first of all, where I grew up, those were called yams. There was no such thing as sweet
And
potato. It
they
was
came in a
yams.
can.
We didn't eat
No.
yams.
Yam is different than sweet.
Right.
I know, but we always knew that all as a
And
yam.
his
We didn't
mother, when she cooked vegetables out of a can, she just put butter in it. She didn't know anything about seasoning and like putting brown sugar and the marshmallows and all that. She didn't know that. So
Oh,
all he
yeah.
had was canned yams.
I didn't eat them.
With
That
butter
was,
on them.
Pour you a couple shots of Jack Daniels
There
in
you
there
go.
too, and
Burn
it
it.
really, really makes
and
that.
I have to say it, as a kid, I mean, that was always the good can to take out of the cupboard when we had like a can drive. We had it at school. I'd say, Mom, just give me the canned yams. I'll take those because ain't nobody gonna eat those. And we'd take those and drop those off. But yeah, and the difference is there is a big difference in celebrating Thanksgiving up north and in the South. I mean, there is a difference in food and the way they do things, but it's all celebrating,
Do
obviously.
you put like chestnuts or fruit and apples in your stuffing, or is it just straight the sage
Oh,
and the
I've
onions
seen
and stuff?
people.
I have
Normally, it's just a sort of just a dressing. It has a turkey. You use some of your turkey broth in it,
Right,
and
you
whatever.
have the celery
Yeah.
and onions
Yeah,
and all
that
of that.
kind of stuff, yeah.
And I like it with bread instead of
Yeah.
cornbread, but a lot of people like in the South like the cornbread, but I like just the white bread stuff.
I think I
No,
am
in
gonna
my
eat
house
some.
we always had to have brown and serve rolls.
Right,
I
I
could
know.
just put a little butter
To
on
put
it.
that butter on top, I know.
And you can't. And
Those
what,
are a treat.
And what Thanksgiving meal would not be complete without the cranberry sauce?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right? You got to have it, even if you don't eat it.
It's got to be
you gotta
shaped
have
like a can
It
too.
does. It has to have the circles around it. You have to
Yes,
do the-
exactly. So you slice
you
it.
do
Yep.
right.
All right, man, this is making me hungry. I can't wait for tomorrow. Now I'm going to eat something, Kim. All right. Well, we want to thank Ron. We're out of time. We want to thank Ron for being with us,
And
obviously,
we're thankful
today.
for you, Ron.
Yes, we
Thank
are
you so
thankful
much.
for
You and
you
Debbie have
every
been
single
have been
Wednesday.
a joy
Well,
all
we've
year
been-
long. They have
we
been
have
here for us
we have
all
a
the
blast.
Yeah, just wonderful friends. We want to thank them. Have a happy
Test
Thanksgiving.
your cranberries for you.
Yeah,
That's
drop
right.
your cranberries.
That's
Make sure
Joe's
they
job
bounce
tomorrow.
4
I'm
inches.
going to give him the pack.
All right.
4 inches.
Have yourself a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. Thank you for joining us today on this Wednesday. We'll see you next Wednesday on Tennessee Valley This Morning. Again, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. We'll see you.